back in the woods.
Morning guys, Dave Canterbury at the Pathfinder School out here by the old yurt. And what I'm doing this morning is I'm getting some traps ready by dyeing them. They're brand new traps and they need to be dyed. And I'll explain that process to you here in a few minutes. I know that the videos are a little bit random right now as far as what's coming out when, but what I need you to understand is that I have a lot of things going on right now that I have to prep for, and some of these videos are going to fit into series that I want to do later anyway. I'm going to do a full trapping series this winter, and this is going to fit right in with it, so I'm doing it now. I have to dye these traps now and get them ready because I'm going to the Fur Takers of America Trappers College Master Trapping course first week of September, and I have to have this stuff ready to go when I get there, so I'm doing it now. The trapping will come during trapping season, so bear with me on some of these videos, guys. So what we've done here is we've got a product that's called Speed Dip, and it comes in a gallon jug, and it's a black trapping dye, and you mix this with gasoline. Yes, you mix it with unleaded gasoline. And the premise of this stuff is that we'll take this 110 Conibear, and what you do is you mix these together in a 5-gallon bucket, and I've got a trap in here now. I have a leg hold in here now, and this stuff will definitely stain your hands, so be ready for that. This is a double spring leg hold type trap, and you dip it in this dye, and basically the dye works its way into the metal, reacting with the gas somehow to dye the metal. And then when you set the trap out to dry, the gasoline will evaporate and the smell will go away, and you'll be left with a black trap, and then you need to wax that trap. And we'll go over that when the time comes. Now, I've got this like 3-in-1 tool here that I've just been using to fish these traps out of the bucket, so I get too much of this on my hands. This is called the Groundhog, I believe, and we're carrying this on our site. It's a trapping tool that's made for, number one, hammering stakes, number two, trenching things out or digging a trap bed, and then it's got a shovel on the other end of it that's used for digging like dirt hole sets and cubby sets and things in the side of a bank. So it's a pretty good little tool. It's fairly cheap, common man price, so I thought we'd carry it on our website, but I've been using that to dig these traps out with. So basically you just take a new trap like this 110 Conibear, and I'm using all new traps for this course. I've got a lot of traps, but most of them are 110 Conibears and cable snares. Those are two of the items that I consider to be the 10 C's of sustainability, which we'll talk about in another video, are Conibears and cable snares. And 110 Conibears don't weigh very much, and they're very versatile. Then you get into bigger Conibears. This is a 220, and this is a 330 Conibear. This thing would be for like catching beaver and bigger animals like that, but these things are very dangerous, hard to set. Most of the time they require a tool to set them properly to keep them from being dangerous as well. We'll talk about that in future series as well. It doesn't take very long with this trap dip to get the trap dyed. Basically, it's a dip in, dip out situation. And you just grab it out and set it out to dry. Works really good from what I've seen so far, and I've dyed probably 15 traps with it. You know, this is the difference between carrying traps in your backpack for a survival type scenario or a self-reliance scenario in the woods, and trapping to make money or harvest fur for usability or for profit. And the difference there is you have to carry a lot more equipment to trap like that. Some of the traps are very weighty, like the 220, 330 Conibears. The tools that you have to carry, the digging tools, the sifting tools, things like that all get very heavy. So you've got to be ready for that weight. It's not something where you're going to put some of this stuff in your pack and have a sustainable trap line that you can make money off of. You almost need a dedicated trap basket or trapping pack or trapping bucket just for that. You know, when I first started trapping, I was carrying around my traps in a 5-gallon bucket, but you can carry them in anything you want to. That garbage can inside that Duluth pack works really good. A normal trap basket will work the same way. As I said, it doesn't take very long. Dip them in, dip them out. Just get them in there and get them out, and they'll be drying for you. I think I'm going to have to leave this folded up to get it in the bucket. If you've got very big traps, you know, you're going to be doing multiple dips in different directions to get that thing dyed, unless you've got a container that's bigger than a 5-gallon bucket. I just figured a 5-gallon bucket would be the easiest thing to use for this. And the list is pretty extensive of what you have to take to this trapper's course. Another very large double spring type trap. Really heavy duty. You're not going to need anything like this for sheer survivability's sake. I mean, this thing is for, you know, coyotes and bigger. Hogs and things like that would get hung in that trap and not be able to get out. You're not going to need anything like that for small animals. 110 conibears are all you really need, and a few cable snares. And we'll talk about that further when we start a survival trapping series here this winter. Stuff's really easy to use. It's not really overly expensive. You don't have to heat it up. That's what I like about it. Of course, I'm going to have to heat the wax up to wax these traps for the most part, but if I don't have to heat them up twice or heat water up twice in a container to do that, I'm happy. And once I get all these traps dyed, I'll just leave them sitting out here in the weather and let them weather up a little bit, let them dry, and they should be good to go. I've got a couple of weeks. If I get them all dyed today and get them waxed next week, I should be in good shape. There's another type trap. This is a coil spring type leg hold trap. Again, this stuff is way more heavy duty than you need for survival. This is for trapping for a business or for long-term sustainment or management. You know, you're going to use that fur for something all the time, and you're really trying to get a lot of it. We've talked a lot of times on videos past about the effectiveness of primitive trapping, the effectiveness even of wire snares and things, and how many of those you really have to put out to actually sustain yourself in any meat. And I've got a series on YouTube now where I did 3 days in the wintertime with 10 cable type snares, and it took me all 3 days to catch like one rabbit that was dead in the trap, and I had one other rabbit that was being eaten by a red-tailed hawk when I got to it. So you're going to lose food, you're going to miss food. Primitive trapping is very tricky, and even cable snares and things like that can be unproductive. These jaw type killing traps like the conibears and things like that are almost fail-safe. If you can get the trap, if you can get the animal into the trap or to the trap to take the bait, you're going to kill them. That's why I like to use them so well for even a short-term sustainment type pack, because they don't weigh very much and they're very versatile, as you've seen in other videos I've done with the conibears. But we'll do a full series on survival trapping later this year. I went ahead with this speed dip because it's a dye and the gasoline evaporates off of it. I went ahead and stained my new axe that I got from Wetterlings, the fine forest axe. I went ahead and stained that handle with the stuff as well. Just wiped it on there and let it evaporate. And I'm going to oil it up really good to seal it after the fact. So this dye is stuff you can use for other things besides just traps. While you've got it out and you're dyeing traps, you might as well protect every piece of metal you've got with it. I plan on using it on every trapping tool that I had to buy for this class, and every trap and everything else that I'm going to be taking to this class, because like I said, I'm already using this stuff. It's already out, it's not going anywhere, so I might as well just use it. Okay, I had one more tool here that I wanted to go ahead and dip. Excuse me, a couple more tools, but this one is basically just a piece of pipe with a T-bar in it and a bolt welded to the top, and it's cut out so that you can use it to bang in dirt holes for dirt hole sets. I picked that up. I want to try it out and see if it's something we need to carry on our website or not. I want to test it out first with 3-in-1 tools on there now, but this one's not. I'll let that dry, and then I took my pan, which is full of swivels for trap chains right now. I dyed those as well, and I went ahead and dyed this pan. The sifting pan is basically just a metal pan with a screen in the bottom of it for sifting dirt back over the top of a set so that it looks natural. So those things have all been dyed as well. Like I said, we will get further into a trapping series down the line here. I just kind of want to introduce you to the way that I dye these traps, or the way that I am dyeing these traps first, This is the first time I've ever used this method to dye traps, but it seems like it works pretty good. Black walnut hulls work good too. This is just a quick and easy, expedient way to do it. Okay guys, well, I'm Dave Canterbury at the Pathfinder School. I appreciate you joining me for another video. Just a quick intro to dyeing traps and treating them so that they don't get all rusty and nasty, plus it turns them black so they match the environment a little bit better. I'll be back with another video as soon as I can. I appreciate your views. I appreciate your support. Be patient, guys. All the videos are coming. On the water's edge, more TP, more yurt, trapping, all of those things are coming. I just have to kind of force them in when I can right now because my schedule is so busy. So I had to do this today anyway. Figured I'd make a video. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much.